Every time you say yes when you want to say no, you lose a piece of yourself. People-pleasing isn't kindness, it's self-betrayal. And if you don't stop, you'll wake up one day realizing you built a life for everyone but yourself. It's time to break free. Think about how often you've done that. You agree to plans you don't want to go to. You take on extra work when you're already exhausted. You bend over backward to make sure everyone else is comfortable, while you feel drained, overlooked, and resentful. This is what people-pleasing does. It teaches you that other people's happiness matters more than your own. It convinces you that setting boundaries is selfish. It makes you believe that if you say no, you'll disappoint people, push them away, or be seen as difficult. But here's the truth. People-pleasing isn't kindness, it's self-betrayal. And if you don't stop, you will wake up one day and realize that you built a life for everyone but yourself. In this video, I'm going to show you why people-pleasing is not actually helping anyone, the deep-rooted reason you struggle to set boundaries, how to stop saying yes out of guilt and start protecting your energy. Because the day you stop people-pleasing, that's the day you get your life back. Let's get into it. The hard truth, why people-pleasing is slowly destroying you. People-pleasing feels like kindness, it feels like generosity, it feels like the right thing to do. But in reality, it's fear disguised as kindness. Because when you say yes to everyone, even when you don't want to, it's not because you truly want to help. It's because you're afraid of disappointing people, making them uncomfortable, feeling like you're not enough unless you're constantly proving your worth. And over time, you lose your own needs in the process, and you forget what actually makes you happy. You become exhausted, resentful, and burned out, because you're always giving and rarely receiving. People-pleasing isn't generosity, it's self-sacrifice at the expense of your own happiness, and it has to stop. The transformative power of boundaries. Boundaries aren't about shutting people out. They're about letting the right things in. They're about choosing where your energy goes, who gets access to you, and what you will and won't tolerate in your life. And when you start setting boundaries, everything changes. Your relationships improve, because the ones who truly care about you will respect your limits. You stop feeling guilty, because you realize that your needs matter just as much as anyone else's. You gain confidence, because you're no longer bending to fit into someone else's expectations. You create real happiness, because instead of constantly pouring into others, you finally pour into yourself. Saying no to what drains you creates space for what fulfills you. And that is where true happiness begins. How to stop people-pleasing and set boundaries without guilt. Setting boundaries isn't just about saying no. It's about rewriting the way you see yourself, because the real issue isn't other people. It's the fact that you've been conditioned to believe that you owe them more than you owe yourself. Here's how to break free. 1. Recognize that being nice is not the same as being a doormat. Kindness doesn't mean saying yes to everything. Kindness doesn't mean sacrificing your peace to keep others comfortable. You can be a good person without being available 24/7. You can be caring without overextending yourself. You can be supportive without taking on responsibilities that aren't yours. The most powerful thing you can realize: saying no doesn't make you mean. It makes you self-respecting. 2. Stop explaining yourself. A simple no is enough. When you start setting boundaries, your first instinct might be to justify it. You want to soften the blow. You want to make sure they don't get upset. You want to give them a reason why you can't help this time. But here's what you need to understand. A simple "no, I can't" is enough. When you over-explain, you invite negotiation. And your boundaries should never be up for debate. If someone needs you to justify your no in order to respect it, they were never respecting you in the first place. 3. Start small, but start now. If you've spent your entire life people-pleasing, setting boundaries might feel uncomfortable. That's okay. Start with something small. Don't reply to messages immediately. Turn down plans that you don't want to go to. Say "I can't" without apologizing for it. The more you practice, the easier it gets. And over time, you'll realize the people who respect you won't leave because of your boundaries. And the ones who do were never really in your corner anyway. 4. Get comfortable with disappointing people. This is the hardest part. You have to accept that not everyone will like your boundaries. Some people will test you. Some will guilt trip you. Some will get upset that you're no longer available at their convenience. And that's okay. Because your job isn't to make everyone happy. Your job is to build a life where you are happy. If protecting your peace makes someone uncomfortable, that's their problem, not yours. Imagine this. Imagine waking up and feeling completely free. No more saying yes out of guilt. No more feeling trapped in obligations you don't want. No more putting yourself last just to keep other people happy. Instead, you feel calm, in control, and at peace. You have time for the things that actually bring you joy. You're surrounded by people who respect your boundaries instead of constantly pushing past them. And the best part, you no longer feel the need to be everything for everyone, because now you finally choose you. It's time to break free. This is the moment where everything shifts. You don't need permission to set boundaries. You don't need an excuse to protect your peace. You don't need to feel guilty for saying no, because this is your life. And the moment you decide to stop people-pleasing, to stop living for approval, to stop carrying responsibilities that aren't yours, that's the moment you finally take your life back, set the boundary, hold the line, and watch how everything changes. Because true happiness, it doesn't come from pleasing others. It comes from finally choosing yourself.